Welcome to SVG-TV News for Wednesday, May 20th, 2015. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Vincentians are being urged to take the necessary precautions to reduce any possibility of the introduction of the mosquito-borne Zika virus into this country. The warning comes in light of an outbreak of the virus in Brazil, which could possibly spread to other Caribbean islands, including SVG. The Aedes aegypti mosquito, which spreads the Zika virus, is the same mosquito that is responsible for the transmission of dengue and chikungunya. It is generally found in and around places where people inhabit. Persons are urged to search for and destroy mosquito breeding sites by getting rid of old tires and containers in which water can settle, punching holes in tins before disposing, and covering large drums, barrels and tanks holding water. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment says it takes this potential threat very seriously and is urging Vincentians to do their part to prevent mosquito breeding so as to help keep out the virus. There is no specific vaccine or treatment for the virus, and hence, according to the ministry, personal responsibility is critical. The Zika virus was first isolated in humans in 1952 in Uganda and Tanzania. Outbreaks have been since seen in several countries, including the island of Yap in 2007, French Polynesia in 2013, and Brazil in 2015. The Ministry of Health, Wellness and the Environment says it will continue to monitor the developments and put measures in place to reduce the Aedes aegypti mosquito population, and will update the Vincentian public accordingly. And national epidemiologist Dr. Rosamond Adams says the signs and symptoms of the Zika mosquito virus are similar to dengue and chikungunya and takes up to 12 days to show signs of being infected. He outlines some of the symptoms, such as redness of the eyes and a distinctive swelling of the lower limbs.
An incubation period of about 4 to 12 days after you've been bitten by an infected mosquito, then you start developing signs and symptoms of this disease. And the signs and symptoms are fever, rash, conjunctivitis, red eye, headaches, muscle and joint pains. But with this disease, what is very characteristic is that there is a swelling of the lower extremities or the swelling of the feet. So this is what characterizes the Zika virus.
Dr. Adams expresses concern that the virus can put a significant strain on the health sector and inhibit the productivity of the country.
Means that if there is an outbreak like chickpea that happened last year, we can have many people complaining of being sick, many people complaining of having joint pain, swelling to the lower extremities, unable to walk, and so it can stretch our vector control resources, because we will have to do more vector control. It will stress put a strain on our public health resources, mean that more people will have to go to clinics, hospitals for treatment, and also it can affect productivity of the country, because more people will be on sick leave because they're sick, and also students will be absent from school because they're sick. So we're just generally asking Vincentians to take all of the necessary precautions in light of this vector-borne disease that has been reported in Brazil and has the potential of spreading to Caribbean countries and also right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Women here were on Sunday told that they have a new role to play that requires them to be more proactive, visible and firm in a quest to continue the overall development of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Speaking at the Unity Labour Party's Women's Arm Convention, lawyer and former politician Renee Batiste says while a large number of Vincentian women continue to excel, she would like to see more women gaining prominence, as they would have valuable contributions to make at national consultations and policy making.
Participation in governance. I want to see this backbone of the economy. You know when you know you're the backbone? Whenever you get into a van, count how many men in it. When you go into a store, count how many men in the store. When you go into a restaurant, count how many men in there. When you go in the bank, the credit union, the building and loan, you count how many men you see standing up in there. And when you go to church. Now, we ain't ain't just rocking the cradle, comrades, sisters. We now making the cradle. We selling it. We at Vinlec, we have engineers, the female engineers. If you know how proud I am when I see those girls with their hat on down at the Lomans Bay Power Station. We are building women. We are building. We're becoming, we don't just want to be heads of department. We want to be more in the policy making and more with the gentlemen at the table.
But he's told the women as they take on the role of further move the country forward, they must also keep in mind the latest projections by the International Monetary Fund, the IMF, which indicate that SVG will record one of the best growths in the OECS in 2016.
If you believe the IMF has just given its projection, April 2015, it has projected that St. Vincent will have about the best growth in the OECS in 2016, that inflation will be 0.1%, that we will have the third highest growth in the OECS. Who is the captain of the ship? When we are challenged that the economy is bad, nothing is happening in the economy, we will soon have an IMF program. Well, the IMF has spoken. The IMF has spoken, and we have gotten a good grade, a very good grade in struggling times, in difficult times, and times are not difficult only here. No public servant has lost their job. No teacher has been sent home. No policeman lost his job. No nurse has been sent home.
The 7th Regional Road Safety Conference will be held here on the 27th and 28th of this month under the theme Understanding the Issue, Identifying Solutions. Some of the topics to be covered at the conference are the development of a National Safety Council, SVG, crash scene management, drug and alcohol-induced driving, and defensive driving. Eric Kipps, Managing Director of Jarek St. Vincent Limited, the company says that the focus of the conference is to look at the 3 E's of road safety, which are enforcement, engineering, and education, with special attention to education.
The conference would focus on the 3 E's of road safety, which is enforcement, engineering, and education. So this part of the conference, although it will look at all 3 of them, it will focus on education. Some of the presentations we're going to have Professor Kurt Boeing. He will be looking at emergency response and the management of the injured at the crash scene, which is very important. So that is one of the presentations and one of the workshops we're going to have with Professor Boeing, which is very important and can be very informative to like your first responders, the people who do your ambulance service and that kind of stuff.
Meantime, Kip says there is a serious need for the increase in road safety education to reduce the number of road fatalities that occur in SVG. He says that due to the fact that there is a rapid increase in the number of vehicles on the roads as well as new drivers, the number of vehicular accidents that occurs is expected to go up rapidly, and that a new system needs to be put in place to ensure that everyone is educated on road safety.
Now, there are a number of reasons why you would have the increase in fatalities. You can have more cars on the road. You can have the cars. You can have the education level. You know, is not rising. Road safety, I mean, you know, is not rising. The road safety education is not, you know, increasing to suit, you know, the population and the size and expanse of the road networks. So this conference, you know, I want to encourage people to come to this conference, all right, partake, you know, share your views, because it's an open forum to share your views on how you think that, you know, the road safety performance of St. Vincent and the Grenadines can increase. Because at the end of the day, what we're doing is trying to save lives. We're trying to save the lives of persons in St. Vincent.
Persons interested in attending the conference can do so by paying a fee of $500 by this Friday, while normal registration is set at $700. Registration ends on Tuesday. Under the theme Measurement and Light, the public got the opportunity today to learn more about the weights, measurements, and scaling instruments, used in the transaction of goods and services. This was done through the St. Vincent and the Grenadines Bureau of Standards to commemorate the World Metrology Day observed around the world today, May 20th. Supervisor of Metrology at the Bureau of Standards, Jim Miller, says measurement is a critical component of commerce. He says having devices such as fuel pumps and scales which are correct in quantity to what the clients purchase should ensure fair business.
We administer what we call the Metrology Act, or the Weights and Measures Act of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Now, within this act, it speaks specifically on weighing devices or generally measuring devices. So devices that are used in trade, right, to conduct a service, or actually the selling of a good is subject to this act. And some of these instruments or devices include balances or scales, linear measurements, right, fuel pumps that are found at the gas stations. Right? These are just some basic or everyday devices that you can find around maybe Kingston or in the suburbs of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Miller says the Bureau of Standards will continue its inspection of scales and weighting instruments throughout the country. He says those who are found guilty of having improper measurement devices could have them confiscated and face other penalties.
We are going to resume on Thursday, that is actually tomorrow, to continue our verification on the leeward side. And when we complete the leeward side, we are going on the windward side, and then we are coming to Kingstown and then off to Beckway and so on. So any entity that is out there, let us know where you are so that we could come visit you to ensure that you are weighing correctly. Now, some of the penalties include your weighing device actually being confiscated, but we wouldn't do this unless a year has passed, because we will give the vendor or the owner of the balance a year to come up to scratch, to have their balance replaced, adjusted. But right now we have on board, when we are visiting institutions, someone, an independent technician, to actually repair the balance on site, on spot, when the balance does not comply.
A new Student Guild executive for the University of the West Indies Open Campus St. Vincent and the Grenadines was recently elected to run the day-to-day activities of the student body. The members of the executive are Chairman Nick Francis, Deputy Chairman Martin Sheen, Secretary Samantha Williams, Treasurer Ricky Haynes, and PRO Melly Phillips. The local chapter of the Student Guild is run by Students for Students, the main function being to represent the interests, rights, and concerns of the student body at the open campus, while promoting the university as a viable option for tertiary student studies for prospective students. In addition, the Guild chapter also provides assistance to new and returning students, offering support and advice on their educational well-being and experience at the open campus. The executive is in the process of planning several activities to promote student interaction and to facilitate a well-rounded university experience for open campus students. Head of the UWI Open Campus, Deborah Dalrymple, noted that she is happy to see the strength in leadership of the Guild and looks forward to more engagement among students themselves and between students and staff. A jail sentence of 4 years was this afternoon handed down to Romaldo Brown, a bus conductor of Arnesville, after he was convicted on 2 separate charges of gun and ammunition possession without the relevant license on February 21, 2015. Chief Magistrate Rayshon Brown Matthias heard that on the date in question, members of the Rapid Response Unit were on mobile patrol in the Belvedere area, where Brown, along with another male, was seen standing in a porch at a dwelling house next to the public road. Reports say that, having recognized the presence of the police, both men fell to the ground. They were approached by the officers and were met lying on their chest. It was during such time that Brown was seen with a bag which contained a firearm and 1 round of 12-gauge ammunition. In other court news, Nicholas Brown, a 25-year-old laborer of Balls Avenue, has been ordered to pay a fine of $650 or face a 4-month jail term on the charge of possession of marijuana. The order was given by Chief Magistrate Ration Brown Matthias after Brown was found guilty of possession of 294 grams of the controlled drug with intent to supply to another at Paul's Avenue on the 12th of December 2014. Reports now that on the date in question, Corporal Nolan Dalloway of the Rapid Response Unit was in his vehicle traveling in the Paul's Avenue area when the defendant was seen with a bag that contained the marijuana, which he handed over to another male who was also in the area. The officer quickly alighted from his vehicle, approached Brown, and took him to the other male and retrieved the bag with the drug, which resulted in his arrest. After the fine was imposed, Chief Prosecutor Adolphus Delpesh congratulated Corporal Dalloway on a job well done. Welcome to Carnival Beat. Head of the Police Public Relations and Complaints Department, Inspector Hawkins Nanton, is calling on all Vincentians to settle their differences outside of the various Carnival events taking place across the country. Inspector Nanton says that this country's economy is greatly boosted by the income generated by Carnival. Therefore, violence only serves to destroy the Vincentian economy and urge persons to desist from allowing personal feelings to ruin the Carnival season for others.
We are encouraging persons as well as our citizens to be responsible and adhere to every security measure given for your protection and for the protection of your property. We encourage you to settle all disputes amicably, because sometimes people choose to settle their differences at large events, but we're appealing to members of the public. This is our country. The Carnival festivities means a lot to our own economy, and we are appealing to you to settle your differences in an amicable manner so that you do not put people's lives in fear, because we know once people start running to and fro in large crowds because they believe their lives are in danger, this could end up, having detrimental effects. So we're appealing to the public here. We cannot finish appeal to you to settle your differences and do not bring it to the Carnival events.
With just about 10 days to go before the staging of the Miss SVG pageant, all 8 contestants are busy fine-tuning their presentations and are also involved in intense training sessions to ensure that they deliver their best on the evening of Saturday, May 30th. Last evening, SVG-TV visited one of the training sessions at the Victoria Park and spoke with 7 of the 8 contestants, who say while the anxiety is building, they are ready to take on the ultimate challenge on the big night.
Well, you could describe it for me. Stressful. Stressful. Yeah. Fantastic, actually, because I love the experience and I like to be pushed or driven to a point that, because you know that I could work hard towards something and be successful, so it's very fantastic for me. Very precious. Well, last week and up to this evening, I will have said that it is exhausting, but now I am very much exciting and I'm ready to get this out of the way. How about you? I would say from the beginning it was very stressful and frustrating, but boiling down to the show, I think everything is on course and I have everything locked. Alright, so I said it's stressful, yes, but the experience is great and I'm having fun along the way. It's not just work, but we have our little fun in between. Alright. I thought that Miss SVG was a walk in the park, actually, but now we are catching up quite fine, and I think that for me it's very magnificent because I love challenges and this is how I can portray my talent. Now fly though. Thus far, it is very hectic. I think right about now, hectic is an understatement because I am tired, literally tired. But as we are often told by Sean, our trainer, no pain, no gain. So if we don't work hard, we are not going to be successful. Hence the reason why I am working hard. After I'm finished here, I am not going to bed. I am going home to work even harder because come May 30th, I want to be perfect.
Well, one word, it's phenomenal. I think I overrated it, but it's phenomenal. For me, I have the support system I need, and they're the ones that are actually taking the stress at the moment and not burdening me with whatever it is might be going on. So it's phenomenal for me. Great.
See you guys on May 30th.
8 p.m. sharp. Carnival City, Victoria Park. Don't you miss it.
Hits FM Soca Swing is one of the most anticipated shows of the Carnival season, and according to the show's organizer, Eric Horn, this year promises to be a blast. Horn of Island Network Association says the theme this year is For the Love of Soca. He says the lineup is a good combination of the vintage soca artists such as Beckett and the younger artists including Keith Currency, Kido, among others. Horn says the main act at the event, scheduled for Sunday, May 31st at the Victoria Park, is the energetic Soca Monarch champion, Delroy Fireman Hooper, who promises to deliver pound for pound and non-stop partying. The show organizer says Nadia Baston, accompanied by her all-female musical band out of Trinidad and Tobago, will also be featured at Soca Swing. And as we feature the various acts who will be performing on the night of the show, we introduce you to Ryan Madzat Primus. The former Soca Monarch and Raga Soca Monarch King is known for his vigor, hence the alias the Fat King. Madzat says he is ready to give patrons a good time, and he has been training in the gym to get fit for the stage.
Yes, Soca Swing, Sunday, June 31st. You gotta be there every single body. I don't know if everybody go whole, but we will find a way to make it work. If we gotta run the fetting shift, we'll do that. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta come out to Soca Swing, run the Madzat, Fireman, the whole of Soca Dance, Skinny, doing another bats, Namsas, and it's gonna be a wonderful party. And I look at I had an opportunity at the band last night to see the lineup in terms of the running out of the show, and I think the lineup is beautiful, and they're gonna have a nice balance of power and raga artists, keeping the vibes nice. And I could guarantee, I'll be there with my full cast, my dancers and everything. For those of you who didn't see my show last Sunday, you're going to get to see it in Soca Swing. The full Madzat presentation for 2015, because we're bringing it hard and harder every time. It's me and my whole team on the stage, and it's going to be madness. Fat King.
Madzat also praised Hits FM for giving patrons a quality show at a reasonable price. He says he is also impressed by the extensive coverage the FM station gives to listeners.
Well, Hits FM is the mother of FM station in St. Vincent, the first FM station we have in St. Vincent, and it is one of the stations that still one of the only stations I know that if I put my radio on Hits and I drive from the first to the last end of St. Vincent, the signal is always there. So I think there was a time when Hits FM had a slogan, covering you like the sun. I don't know if that slogan is still a part of the station, but I think it's still relative, because no matter where in the country I am, if I'm only getting one station, it's Hits. So Hits FM continue to reach the people, and it reached the grassroots people, and at the same time, from the I don't want to use these words, but from the peasants to the Hits FM. That a wide cross section of listenership.